folks, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Natasha and I do book things here. So you may have been wondering where I've been. 2020 has been a lot. I've kind of disappeared from booktube for like 4 months. Figured what better time to come back than 2021. A restart to shave my head and talk about how 2020 was for my reading. Before I get into sort of the meat of this video, if this is the first time you've watched me, I apologize. Mention as well for this video, trigger warnings. I am going to be talking about, as we say here, real life shit, about things that I've sort of struggled with in 2020, where my mental health was. Spoiler alert, it's not great. Perhaps some like mental health issues, so anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, all that kind of stuff. And I'm gonna just give you guys a sort of just a heads up on that. Being a lot more honest and being a lot more, quote, my authentic self on the internet, but just being a lot more honest in how I'm feeling and how things outside in my personal life are affecting me, because they do. And it affects when I upload videos, it affects what videos I'm uploading, if I am, you know what I mean? And so I want to keep you guys in tune with that. So it's not to say that I haven't been myself and honest on this channel before, it's just it might get even more so in the future. So just keep that in mind. That's just transparency. You're wondering why I'm shaving my head. Well, I have shaved my head before. June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 7 months, is that right? Of me growing it out. It's actually like fairly long. It was cut into a mullet. That's all grown out. This is a mess. This video is a mess. I don't know why you're watching this. But yeah, I decided to move into 2021 with my natural hair color. I have not seen it since I was 14. I'm gonna be 32 in February. I have not seen it in a while. Decided, you know what, for 6 months, let's try out my natural hair color. If I hate it, so be it, like fine, then I will let you know. But this is what we're working with. It's been suggested to me by a friend of mine that I should keep some of it and wrap it and cut it and make earrings out of my hair. So that's what we're gonna do. Anyway, how y'all doing? How's everybody been? I'm doing great, as you can tell. Here's a question that is pretty upsetting if I ask this to you or anybody who reads books. How's your Goodreads goal going? Because I, for one, did not do well. I set my Goodreads goal for 100 books. I ended up reading, I want to say, close to 60. Cool, I need some scissors. BRB. My Goodreads goal for 100 this year, and very quickly into 2020 I realized that like that's absolutely not a thing. It'd be fun to make those as earrings. This video is, don't send this to anyone I know. Oh cool, that one's a little curly piece. Success. Okay, maybe I'll make 2 more on the other side. In case any of you want to buy my hair. Do you? Wouldn't that be weird? Be like, yes, Natasha, I would love the clipping of your hair. Don't do that. Don't send people hair. You're like, oh yes, I was looking to send people my hair, and thankfully this random booktube video I clicked on convinced me not to. Let's break down the year by month, shall we? So January started strong. I think we all can agree that January was not horrible. Maybe it was, I don't know. Off the high of getting back from a very nice trip to Hawaii, which was lovely, by the way. And I was like living life, you know, I was reading some books. I took it a little slow after vacation because I tend to get the blues after I do get back from a vacation. But I just attributed that to my regular everyday depression. Little did I realize what was going to happen and what was going to transpire. But that was January. I read some books in January. Then in February, I read a little bit more, but then I also had my 31st birthday. Now this is where shit's gonna get a little more intense. Actually, I should probably change my shirt. For some reason, in February, my mental health in general just went, wait. And I ended up having what I would consider at this point, not just a panic attack, but some kind of full-blown, maybe PTSD, I don't know, but like something that's like a next level panic attack, which is super sick. Don't know where that came from, but I really marked that as like the pinpoint of when I knew something was not right. So keep in mind that this is about 3 weeks before a shutdown, or actually I shouldn't even say that word because I think it's gonna get demonetized. Not like I'm gonna make millions of dollars off this video. Let's call it C-19. So that was about 3 weeks before C-19 hit and closures of everything started to happen. And so I was already going into that feeling not great. Feeling not great, not excited. So really the only thing that really saved me during that time, and this is gonna sound really silly, but this is what I've been doing, was Animal Crossing. I joined a couple of like Twitter threads. I joined a couple of like WhatsApp groups. If you're watching this video and you were in there, you know who you are. But I was waking up every day just with this like overwhelming sense of panic. Also at the time I was working, we're gonna call it job one. So I was working job one, and I was the only person at the time at job one who quite frankly read the news and sort of knew what was going to happen eventually with C-19. And so I felt like I was the crazy person at work because I was constantly panicking about it and no one else took me seriously, which is, ooh, such a good feeling. And then sure shit, everything happened and we went into closures. When I tell you guys, and I mean this pretty dark, like this is kind of dark here, Animal Crossing was the only thing that kept me going. I would wake up, play for 16 hours and go to sleep. And March, I would wake up and have a panic attack. Like I'd wake up, I'd take an Ativan in the morning, I'd cry and bawl to Jeff, and I'd just play Animal Crossing and consider what I was doing on this earth. It was very dark and very bleak and scary for a little while. So obviously during that time I couldn't read. I don't know if anyone else can relate, maybe. We've since then realized I do probably have ADHD. My brain mixed with sort of constant news and uncertainty and change and panic and depression and anxiety. I literally couldn't look at my phone for 5 minutes. Like I'd look at one app for 5 minutes, I'd look at a book for 5 minutes, I'd panic, I'd look at this for 5 minutes. Like I couldn't even, it felt like my body was in a constant state of just running at like 180 heartbeat. Like that's what it felt like every day for like 2 months, which I'm sure is not good. And so I read not at all and I didn't care. That period of my life was really hard, really dark, and I just didn't have a focus towards books whatsoever because I couldn't even distract my mind from the news because it felt like I constantly needed to be reading the news or looking at it to be informed, to know what was going on, to watch our numbers and blah blah blah. And so yeah, like I didn't read like at all for months, or I read like one book over the course of months. Like it's the end of the year and I still have books on my nightstand that I started in March and never picked back up. And so I kind of gave up on what I knew was going to be booktube. I don't want to say booktube in general, but like this channel in terms of a Goodreads goal, that's for sure. The only things that I can honestly remember from March and April were I got really into making little miniature houses and stuff. I did that for a while. I cried a lot. I played 9,000 hours of Animal Crossing. I watched Tiger King, and I shaved my head in April, and that's what we did. And I did a lot of TikTok, like a lot of TikTok. So there's that. I'm using a 1/2 inch, but I might go shorter. I tried my best to sort of stay in contact with some people that I follow and, you know, that I love. I tried to do readathons in the summer. I tried my best. Like I tried to do readathon, which didn't really workout, you know, I tried to upload some videos here and there. I feel like my heart wasn't in it because I was trying to do, I guess, to put on a persona or to act like I was happy. I've had a YouTube channel since I was 16, and that's half my life at this point. And I've been pretty consistently uploading, consistent, all those years. So I've never really sort of taken a couple months to not do that or realize sort of what my personality is outside of feeling like I need to be happy on video. I always attributed, I was like, people don't want to watch me when I'm sad. I don't want to watch sad people sometimes. So I better be, you know, a little bit happy. I can still be myself, but like bring a little bit of happiness to it. Like when I tell you guys I had nothing, I had no spoons left to give to anybody. I'll be honest, or weeks where I was like, I could barely get out of bed, I could barely shower, I could barely do anything. That mixed with some definitely dark days, without getting too much into a word that's hard for people to hear, but it involves leaving this earth. I went so far as to make a plan, several plans of how I was going to do that. And that's when I knew, I was like, okay, something's not right. So, you know, that was sort of going into May and June. And I mean, even with better weather, like I was always like, oh, okay, well, there's going to be better weather. But then like lockdown and C-19 stuff escalated. So it wasn't really a happy summer. Did anyone have a really happy summer? Let me know if you did. If you did, great. If you sat there and you read books, great. But I sure as fuck didn't. You know, around that time, I also was having a lot of trouble. Like I ended up going back to work after like 2 months off, I want to say. Something like that. That was fun, I guess. More to the summer. And again, I wasn't really reading like at all. And even now, as I talk about 2020, like I literally can't remember what I did in July, August, and September. Like, I don't even know what I did. One thing I do know in September, I tried to get a second job, which I did get. And I hated that job and quit that too. I actually ended up working at a fairly popular book chain. I don't know. It may or may not be a color, you know, one of those popular ones here in Canada. And when I tell you I hated this job so bad, it really did. So I lasted a whopping 2 months there before I quit. By the way, there's what that side looks like, if you're curious. Real good stuff though. I don't think this mohawk thing is going to work out because I didn't plan that. So I think I'm just going to shave it all. My hair in my eyeball. Should I make more earrings out of this hair? Maybe. So yeah, I ended up getting a bookstore job at a popular book chain. I never felt more alone in a group of people, ever. It was exciting that I tried something new, but it was also equally heartbreaking that it just didn't work out. I've worked a lot of retail, but at the same time, I like working a retail job where people are kind to each other and to me, which I think is only fair, really. And this job just wasn't it. So I quit that. I started working there in, I want to say the end of September, around the 1st of October. And I promptly quit at the 1st of December. And when I say quit, I mean, like, I didn't even give them 2 weeks notice. I just, I said I quit effective immediately. And I never went back. And I haven't even stepped foot in the stores. One thing that did come out of that job is starting around October, I got more interested in books again, so that's nice. And I started reading more, which was nice. And I started to get back into my love of reading because I was around books all the time. So to be honest, like, yeah, does it suck that that job didn't work out? Yeah, of course. Is this the thumbnail? Is this, hold on. Is this my thumbnail? This is the thumbnail. Okay, cool. What is with this hair? Why won't it go anywhere? What am I holding on to? Not 2020, I can tell you that. Goodbye this year. Is that what this is? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of how the year went. I always used to joke that I said, if ever you see me buying poetry, I lied, this is the thumbnail. If ever you see me buying poetry collections, you know that something is wrong with my mental health. In actuality, both Jeff and I, over the course of Nick, have been really working on ourselves and figuring out, you know, who we are as people and sort of what we need and what we want and how to express it. It's been really positive. We have grown a lot together and as husband and wife in our marriage. I've been taking that energy and that good vibe, I would say for the last month. I've been on the up and up. A lot of things have changed. One, got an Apple Watch, and it seems silly that this thing has changed my life. As somebody who sucks at making plans and sucks at keeping in habits, that's depression and anxiety and ADHD. It seems simple, but a little watch robot that reminds me to brush my teeth, drink water, read a book. I set it so that I read an hour a day now, and it's the only thing that is actually keeping me together. Oh, by the way, this is actually finishing books now and listening to people's advice. I have books that I'm interested in. It just feels like for a little while there, I could not even comprehend the idea of reading a book. And I'm happy to say that it's not something that just disappeared. It just went away a little bit and now it's back. And I'm back. And I'm feeling a lot better. And life is going pretty good. I realized that I really love poetry collections and I'm not ashamed of it anymore like I used to be, which is fun. Also realized that it's okay to read popular books, and like what does that mean? I mean, maybe that's a whole video that I could make talking about reading popular books, but I feel like I sort of put myself in a box of reading odd and quirky and horror and weird books, which don't get me wrong, I love that kind of genre. I love like just weird stuff. But then I kept seeing Addie LaRue pop around everywhere on Twitter, and I went, what is this hoo-ha? I'm 87. What's this hoo-ha that the youngins are talking about on the Twitter? You know, and I ignored it because I thought it was a strictly historical fiction. Until finally, I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna read this book. Everyone seems to like it. People that I know seem to like it. And I think it's okay to acknowledge that maybe you need someone else telling you to read something to finally read it. And I just sort of accepted in my mind that, like, you know, maybe I'm not gonna discover the next big book. Maybe I do in fact need publishing and the masses to tell me what I want to read. And so I'm just letting y'all. I'm letting y'all tell me what I should read. And guess what? I've read some 5-star shit. So what is this video though? Like, let's get real. What is this? In terms of reading, I just sort of realized that, like, I'm gonna read what I want. I'm gonna read what people suggest to me. I'm just gonna have fun with it and not put too much pressure in it. So, like, what does it mean for this channel? Well, you know what? I might do the booktube basics. I might do the wrap-ups and the hauls and the TBRs and the readathons and the this and that. But I'm also opening up to, hey, I'm gonna talk about poetry books that I think don't suck. Hey, I'm gonna make a video shaving my fucking head if I want to. I might add in some cooking stuff. I might add in some other things that are, you know, a little bit of joy in my life that might not be reading related, but damn it, it's keeping me alive. If you're gonna get some Animal Crossing content, be happy about it, okay? If you're gonna get some cooking content, be happy about it. I forgot how small my head was. I mean, I know how size my head is, but I realized just now, I'm like, I've been having, like, you know, this much hair stick out, so I realized that, like, I have a normal shaped head. It's just something that happens when you shave your head. You go, oh my god, my head is so small. I think just going into 2021, I'm just being gentler with myself in general, and more forgiving and just more self-aware. I'm more self-aware than I have been in a really long time. I'm doing really well right now. I'm hoping that it stays like that. I'm working out, I'm eating better, I'm cooking. I've never cooked. Like, yes, I'm 32. I've never been a person who cooked. Jeff has done all my cooking. I barely lived, like when I lived on my own, I barely survived, I'm being totally honest. But I have taken an interest in it, and so I'm gonna pursue it, and it's gonna make me happy. I realized from the first time I shaved it that I have like so many cowlicks and little places on my head that are not even. Do I go shorter? I don't know. You know what? I might just go shorter. Fuck it. Do a real buzz cut. God, stop being a wimp, Natasha. Buzz your head. It's going to take 2 weeks to grow back anyway. Oh, just feels so good. But imagine, I've never seen my natural hair color. I have all this beautiful gray coming in. I don't know what it's actually going to look like. It's going to be fun. I am going to brush my head though, because... Hello? Hello, my brush. Oh, here it is. Is that green or is that my gray? I can't even tell in this lighting. What can you expect from this channel? Just me. Just me doing my thing. You know, talking about books. That's all. Nothing more. Nothing less. Just having a good time, trying to stay sane. Oh yeah, that's better. That's better. Ooh, she's short. By the way, I would like to say, if you are somehow made it 32 minutes into this video, I've been recording for 32 minutes just talking about how sad my life has been. If you made it to 32 minutes of this, and you're thinking at any time, maybe I should shave my head, do it. Okay? Do it. I will go there, I will shave your head for you. Do it now. Do it yesterday. It is not too late into this pandemic for you to shave your head. There is like a piece of hair here that I can't get. Hello? It grows back. You get to change your hairstyle every like week. You can bleach it if you want and dye it, and literally bleach it and dye it 2 weeks later. So if you ever wanted to have a fun colored buzz cut, there's your opportunity. Okay, let's get this side here. As I cut my ear off. Listen, I've never felt like more of a badass bitch than when my head is shaved, ever. I feel so confident, so sexy, just awesome. So I don't know, that could just be me. You might hate it, which is a possibility, but I don't think you will. And I hope that you like it, if you do decide to shave your head. I think it's something that everyone should do at least once in their life, just to see how their hair grows back. Oh, speaking of hair going back, I realized that I actually have curly hair now, when it's not bleached 13 times. Who knew? Surprisingly, not me. I had no idea. And so when this grows back in, I actually have all the tools and products at my disposal now to treat it like it is, which is curly hair. Okay, so it's getting to the point where I'm going to need help. Or I'm just going to need to do some really ugly like poses. But that's basically it. That's sort of what's happening. We're going into 2021 with a shaved head again. This isn't a surprise. By the way, this might be a surprise to you guys, but it's not a surprise to me, because I did this in April and I liked how it looked. And I do still like how it looks. Yeah, so you guys get to watch my channel now, and you get to see me grow my hair back in over the course of a couple months. So that might be a fun thing if you guys want to watch that. But yeah, anyway, 2020 sucked. 2021, I will be back with some goals videos. Also, I'll be talking about some things I've read, because I have not been here to talk about books in a minute, but I'm going to be talking about books, so stay tuned. They might be a little late. They might not be sort of on par with everyone's wrap-up videos or anything, but like I said, I'm being kind to myself. I'm going to upload what I want to, when I want to, and try not to have too much pressure, because That's not fun. I do hope you guys like watching my slight mental breakdown. I'm just kidding. I do hope you guys enjoy. Look at this. That was all in my head. That's the thumbnail. Okay, goodbye. I'm leaving now. End of video. The back is just not shaved at all. And I just leave.